Hello, hello, hello. Hi guys, I think we are live. I don't know how the camera will be today. I've been having a hard time with that other camera, so just kind of going back to the computer camera. So we'll just go with that today. And speaking of going with the flow, I was really strongly guided to share a very important message that came through for me, but I am also feeling that others may need to hear as well, because it does work that way. We are all connected, right? And so I want to first off, let me just start off, welcome you to my channel, Ride, Pray, Love. My name is Helena Das, and I am so excited to really have you come and not only ride these cosmic waves together with me, as the world is just changing so rapidly, because as one of my mantras is, together we ride, together we rise, and really to come together and pray together, to meditate together, to really I know this is a fledgling channel, but my intention to create over time a really high vibe, like-minded, like-hearted community of, cosmic cowgirls, whether you just love horses, whether you have them, whether you love unicorns, it doesn't matter. You're all welcome. And ultimately, to really share the love and just support the growth, the expansion, the healing, the shifts, the rising, the accessing of your unlimited potential, and then that rising to your next level as we are ever evolving on this journey. And so I want to just thank you in advance if you receive value, if you enjoyed this message in any way. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and supporting my channel. Obviously, it's free to do, and I would be very grateful for that if you feel called. So, the message that's really wanting to come through today, and interestingly, I will say that I had planned today to do what I was calling my Way of the Horse Wednesday. And, and I was planning to do on Wednesdays sort of like, pull a couple of cards and bring in messages from Spirit. And I very clearly heard this morning during my prayer time, my meditation, and what I call my daily devotion, really, where I connect and plug in, which has been also evolving in terms of the way that I do that over time. But I really very, very clearly heard, and I actually am clairaudient is one of my gifts, the way I receive information. Although I have been hearing that I need to spend more time listening, and we'll go into that in a moment. But what I clearly heard was it was time to take the training wheels off. And if you tuned into my message last Wednesday, my Way of the Horse, where I pulled cards, I was it was my intention to be very clear that we never want to give our power away, right, to anything outside of us, whether it's the cards, whether it's the stars. We always want to tune within, and connect with our inner wisdom, have divine discernment, align with the divine, right? So when we plug into Source, or the God of your understanding, right, and really make sure that our guidance, right, is truly coming from within, then we shouldn't really need those external tools, if you will, right, or training wheels. And I also shared vulnerably on last week's call that there was a period that I used to, like I was probably like addicted and abusing the cards, because I was so lost and I was seeking answers, and I was seeking them outside of myself, right? I mean, I'm a recovering, my whole life really seeking for love in all the wrong places. And, as I have come home to myself and been on this journey right now for some time, what's very interesting is, though I think it's okay, and I'm not judging, we're all wherever we're at, right? I think there's nothing wrong with using the cards for entertainment purposes, for like a confirmation of, what we're truly feeling inside, right? It's the intention, like how are we using them? And I hope I was very clear about that. And what was really coming through to me this morning was that it was time to take the training wheels off, and that for me right now, though, well, I will say that I have not, I don't, like the cards, I hardly ever use them for myself in terms of making decisions, or the way I used to do it, like where I was giving my power away. These days, if and when I use it, which is very, so much less than I used to, it's always with that clear intention that I am still checking in with myself and how I feel, and not giving my power away, which is why I went to that link to share that piece, and I did on the last call. But I heard God say this morning that it was time to take those training wheels off, in terms of, me showing up here on this channel and the messages that I'm really here to share and deliver. And, it's interesting because stepping into this YouTube platform, like committing to it, now at this new level, and as some of you may or may not have heard, I kind of closed the door to my Facebook group, right? And, have committed to really growing and showing up in this space, and focusing my energy more here. And so while it is a fledgling channel, and and I am intending really to hopefully grow and expand, and connect with and create a community that I can really support and connect with, right? I will admit that because it feels in many ways like a greater exposure in terms of connecting with more people, and I'm not sure why energetically that feels for me, and maybe that's why I was more excited and it felt lighter and exciting, whereas my Facebook group just kind of felt like I hit a plateau, and the energy felt stagnant. And anyway, and there's all this stuff about censorship coming up with Facebook, and whatever. Energetically, I was following my flow. So at the same time, while I was excited and guided to come onto YouTube, there's a part of me that has been a little bit, nervous, because it's something new, and I think that's natural, right? And I was sort of defaulting, if you will. That's not even a good word, but I think I wasn't trusting myself, right? I wanted the training wheels. I wanted something else to sort of guide me around the messages that I, am here to deliver and share. And so all this to say that, that message that I heard this morning from Spirit was for me to take those training wheels off, for me to not use the cards, for me to totally trust the message that was coming through, which is, I heard, time to take the training wheels off, and to trust that message, and to, just let that flow, and know that that is enough, and that is, divine and aligned and perfect. And not that it would have been wrong to pull some cards and play with the cards, but I really feel like I'm giving myself permission to go to this next level of, trusting more so what wants to come through organically and naturally in the moment. And so that, all that being said, the message that wants to come through for any one of you who perhaps is, maybe you are as so many people are now with all of, the change that's going on the planet. Maybe you're questioning your career. Maybe you're feeling called to something new. Maybe you're really wanting to use your gifts to make a difference and, an income. Maybe you are wanting to get clarity on your purpose and your gifts. Maybe you want to take your gifts to the next level. That was that listening piece that I was sharing for myself. I know that I'm clairaudient and clairsentient. Those are my, most well-developed gifts, right? We all have all the gifts, and with, use and intention and practice, right, we can grow them. And I also received a message in an unlikely place. A lot of times we can get message from, songs or music. I often get them that way, but I'll share that I absolutely am a huge fan of Hawaii Five-0. I love that show. And a couple weeks ago, I think it was Lou, if that's his name. Anyway, he was chatting with his son, giving him advice about, girls, right? He's a teenage son. And he said the message, have you ever thought to think about why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth? And it really struck me. I'd never, heard that before. And it just, or maybe I have, I don't know. It just really struck me. I got chills, and I received this, really important download for myself around needing to spend more time. So as we cultivate that practice, I think, that our connect, or that saying, and I can't remember where I got right, what is the message that, I am meant to deliver? What meant to deliver? What words do I need to speak to help more? The way we invest our time, our energy, our resources, right, to really not only